Hello, good afternoon. This is Thursday, September the 10th, 2020. It's about 1 in the afternoon. It's a cool day here in Central Texas, and recording this a little late today because my schedule is off today. My plans for today didn't work out. And it's interesting because in today's reading, I got to thinking about when David was hiding in the wilderness, and we read in 1 Samuel, the 23rd chapter, I believe it is, it's the background for that psalm. It's when David was hiding down in Moab, and a group of people called the Ziphites lived there, and they were trying to get in good with King Saul, who was hunting for David, and they went and said, "Hey, Saul, David's down here, come get him." And so that was the reason that David wrote that psalm. And then I think about Paul, and he's writing to the Corinthian church, the second recorded letter that we have, and he's having to basically back up his apostleship with some foolish boasting, as he calls it. And then I think of Isaiah, and he saw the Lord in chapter 6 of Isaiah. And he talks about in the year that King Uzziah died that he saw the Lord. He describes what that was like. Now, what does that have to do with my schedule today? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. You know, in life, we often go through things that are not a part of our plan. We go through days, seasons, sometimes years when the way we think life was supposed to go or how things were supposed to turn out doesn't work that way. And that affects us very deeply, or can affect us very deeply. But I think about David, and I wonder if when he was in the wilderness, if he looked back and remembered the day that he came in to his dad's house smelling like a sheep and dirty and however he was. And he came in and found the prophet Samuel. And Samuel said, "You're going to be the next king. I'm going to anoint you king over this nation." And I wonder if when Paul was going through times where he had to kind of defend himself and tell people again that he was giving his life for them, that if he went back to the day that he met Jesus on the road to Emmaus, not Emmaus, wherever it was he was going when he met the Lord, and if he said, "Lord, you called me, you came to me." You know, I think about Isaiah, that he served under some kings as a prophet, and he was not well liked, he was persecuted, and may very well have been martyred as a prophet. And if he looked back and said, "Lord, I remember the day that I saw you, the day that the heavens were opened and that coal touched my lips." And when I think about days, just a single day, when things don't go right or don't go according to what I think is right, how that can affect mentally and emotionally. And then I think back that, Lord, I gave you my life. It's your responsibility. All you said is to seek you, to hear you, and to follow you. And I just want to leave that with you today, that if life is not going the way you planned, and even if you look back and say, "That's because of something that I did, I made some mistakes, I made some bad choices," my friend, God's word doesn't fail. He doesn't change it. He doesn't bring his word in line with our lives, but he ever works to bring our lives in line with his word. So I just want to encourage you today, go with God, and if things aren't happening the way they're supposed to, go back to the time that he spoke to you. Go back to the vision, the dream that he gave you, and just believe that his word never fails and never returns to him void. Go with God. Bye-bye.